My name is Alison and I have a fear of flying. I think I've had a fear of flying probably since the first time I ever flew. I was 19 when I took my first flight. I never flew as a child and I was apprehensive. But it's got worse every time I've got on, and now the fear of even getting on is just overwhelming.
As far as I can remember, my mum's always been frightened of flying right from me being a child. The last flight I did with her was really unpleasant. I had my son, who was 5 at the time, with me. At the airport, you can see she's visibly upset, to the point where she'll get on the plane when the door's shut. That's the point where the fear really sets in.
My heart races, I shake, I cry.
She doesn't remove the seatbelt, she doesn't let go of the hand restraints at the side.
And it is just a total panic and fear of not being in control.
I want to grab my mum at times and shake her and say, get a grip. But I know I can't do that. She's frightened, and everybody has something that they're frightened of.
Have you had a good flight?
Alison has been petrified of plane travel for almost 20 years. But now her anxiety is coming between her and her family.
My youngest daughter is an air stewardess and emigrated out to live in Dubai in March last year. I've never been to see her.
Deep down, I don't know if Mum actually thought I would go, but she'd never ever stop me doing it, not in a million years. But I don't think she ever wanted to face up to the fact that I'm going to fly the world and I'm going to be on an aircraft every day.
Laura has no fear whatsoever. To Laura, it's like getting on a bus every day. And she can't comprehend the way I feel about it.
For Alison, overcoming her fear of flying is impossible, and even the sight of planes is unbearable.
If it gets too much, then go back into the car.
Struggling to control her panic, she knows she's letting her youngest daughter down. Someone who's aware of the strain she's under is her work colleague and friend, Caroline.
It has affected Alison because she can't go and see Laura, and it's a daughter, you know, and that would be a big thing for me as well if my sons were away. But I'd force myself, but Alison can't force herself.
Moscow.
I know how proud Mum is that I'm doing this because it's everything that I've always wanted. Sorry. But I don't think that she will ever come and see my new life. And that's the thing that upsets me because I am so happy out there, but she just can't see it.
She's seen her a few times for a matter of hours in the past 18 months, and she didn't want that. We don't want that. We want her to go out and spend as much time with her, and now it's getting to the point where it is affecting her life.
I've read books about the fear of flying and how to overcome your fear of flying. They don't make any difference.
She could probably tell you the whole outlay of a plane. She knows where she likes to sit. She knows where's the safest place to sit. She will look at what noises to expect. But it doesn't matter what she reads anymore or what you tell her. She's still frightened.
It's something I want to do because I want to see my daughter. But I don't think I can get on.
For Alison, avoiding plane travel is no longer an option.
I've booked the ticket for Mum to come out to Dubai, but me and my sister were just like, we just have to book it. Like, I don't think for 1 minute she'll get on the aircraft.
I'm not saying I want to love it. I'm not saying that I want to be one of these people that it's wow, can't wait to get on the plane, this is the best bit.
I don't think it matters what we say to her. I just cannot see her getting on that plane, regardless of who she thinks she's letting down. The fear is that bad.
For Mum to get on a plane would mean the absolute world to me, and for her to get on with no fear, I'd be so happy.
I just want to be able to put up with it. I just want to be able to get on. And I know I can't get on. I can't get on that flight.
For Alison, her family's future is on the line. Desperate to get over her fear, she's arrived at Speakman Hall with her eldest daughter, Zoe.
Today we're working with the fear of flying. It's one of the top 10 phobias and fears in the world. So it's a big deal.
This is life-changing to me. It means that I can spend time with my daughter. I can go on holiday with the rest of my family. I can spend time with my grandchildren. It just means the absolute world to me.
If the Speakmans can't help her today, I think this is the last chance to learn. I can't see anything else working if this doesn't.
Unable to get over her phobia on her own, she's come to the Speakmans for help.
Hello. Welcome. Are you all right? Yes, thank you. Don't look so terrified. We'll look after you. Thank you. Hello. Hi. Hello. Pleased to meet you.
Alison and Zoe, thank you for coming to see us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Can I ask you, what can we help you with?
I've got a fear of flying to the point where I don't want to even get on anymore.
So when was the last time that you were on a plane?
I was due to go on holiday last year, but unfortunately my father died a few days before we were due to go. So I stayed at home. Zoe went away. I asked her to go with her children and husband. I didn't feel that they should miss out on their holiday. And there was the option that I could get on a plane after the funeral, but I just couldn't do it.
I could see that when you said, and sorry to hear about your father dying, by the way, but when you said about your father dying, I could see a relief that you didn't have to fly.
Yes, to the point where when you asked me to fly out to join you, I made every excuse under the sun.
What we'd like to know, what I'd like to ask you is, when this started, you see, you said you were 19, so you're 19-year-old when you first get on a plane, and you've got no idea of if a plane's good or a plane's bad. But what you're thinking about, where were you going?
Just to Ibiza. So only a relatively short flight.
Okay,
2.5 hours.
but what was... So you're going to Ibiza, and who are you going with?
My husband at the time.
Okay. How long were you married?
Probably about 10 years.
Okay. So, you're going on honeymoon, and was it the flight out that was the problem, or the flight coming back?
It unnerved me very much when we got on the plane, and obviously it was the first time I'd ever flown, and we were sitting pretty near the wing, because at that time it wouldn't have ever bothered me that I need to sit in this place or I need to sit in that place, because I just didn't know. And everybody was seated on the plane at the airport, and we were on the tarmac, and the captain announced that there were a few technical problems, so we would be slightly delayed taking off.
Okay.
At which point you look out of the window and you see a man topping an engine up with oil.
Okay.
So I think alarm bells rang then, and maybe it was a thing of this huge aeroplane, and you've got this one little man pouring a can of oil into an engine. And then I think you possibly catastrophise. What are the technical problems? Is there something that they're not telling us? But we took off, and I was unnerved. And I think if I could have come back by boat, I probably would have tried to come back by boat.
So the plane crashed?
No.
It didn't?
No.
Okay, so what happened?
We got there fine. Nothing happened.
I see. So there were some technical problems. Someone put some oil in the engine, and then everything was fine. Have you ever had a problem with your car and you've taken it for a service?
Yeah.
And then everything was fine? So what was the problem? So obviously I'm trying to understand it.
Yeah.
So the plane didn't crash. Nothing went wrong. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Complete sense.
So what you're telling me, Alison, is that you're immensely petrified of flying because you actually flew, and you've flown a few times, and nothing's gone wrong.
I know it
Yes or
doesn't
no?
make sense. I know it just appears not to make any sense.
Is family important to you?
Very much so.
But you don't see your daughter?
Very rarely.
Okay, and what does your daughter do?
She's cabin crew.
Okay,
For
so
an
she's an air hostess. So how can you be so irresponsible that you will let her have an occupation that puts her in risk every day?
Because she's not frightened, and I would never stop them doing, either girls, what they wanted to do. And it's Laura's dream.
Well, we've actually got a message from Laura.
that I'd like to play to you.
Hi Mum, I just want to say I'm really, really proud of you and I'm really sorry that I can't be with you today. I know it's a very important day for you. But I wish you the best of luck and I hope everything works out. And you'll be on that plane in a few weeks to Dubai because I need a really good chicken dinner. And no one does chicken dinners like you. I love you and I'm proud of you.
So Alison, you're not getting upset about the chicken dinner, are you?
No.
Why are you crying?
Because I've let her down. I just feel I've let her down. I've let them both down.
You haven't, not yet. You're here and that's not letting us down.
Why are you upset, Zoe?
Because I know how much it upsets my mum. And she doesn't want to be like this.
And how much would it mean to you?
The world. And more to Laura.
You know, you said your mum doesn't want to feel like this. But who's actually creating this problem?
My mum.
That just makes me feel worse, that I've done it deliberately and I've not. I promise you I've not done it on purpose.
I know you haven't. But you need to stop.
If your family felt for a moment that you were in any danger getting on that plane, would you let her get on it?
I certainly won't take my boys on it.
Absolutely.
What contingencies, when you do get on a plane, what do you have to do?
I have to wear the same clothes to fly in.
Because?
Because my logic says that if I've worn them before and I've been safe, then I'll be safe if I put them on again.
So it's the lucky clothes and not the pilot?
Yeah.
So what you're telling me, Alison, is that very first flight that you had when you were 19, you're going on honeymoon, you're still wearing those clothes?
No,
Not that bad.
Oh, no, so, well, that theory's blown then, is it not?
I think it's probably just as it's got worse. And like I say, nothing that I don't remember anything triggering it, and you just think sort of probably about 10 years ago, I've worn them and I must have got myself a little bit more worked up, and I've worn these clothes, but it's okay because I landed safe. So if I wear them to come back in, then I'll be fine. Then nothing's going to happen. And then because you get back fine, well, I must wear them if I go again.
As a mum and grandma, how does that sound to you, saying that out loud?
Absolutely barking. It's so embarrassing. It is. It is ridiculous.
So nothing to do with what the pilot's doing, the checks and all that stuff that they do before they even consider taking off. Everyone on the plane with you are only safe by virtue of the fact that you're wearing the same clothes.
I know it's mad. I know it's ridiculous. And maybe it is just some sort... I know it isn't keeping the plane in the sky. I know it's not. Whether it's some sort of comforter, I don't know.
And what is this special outfit? What does it look like?
It's just awful.
Go on.
It's just a white T-shirt and awful brown velour tracksuit bottoms.
That is pretty hideous by the sound.
They don't even fit anymore, so I can't wear them, which causes me an issue.
I know that obviously this affects particularly you and your children, and then obviously the knock-on effect is your grandchildren. But I know that you've got a friend who has seen you suffering, who also really wants this for you today. So I'm going to invite Caroline to come and join us, if that's okay.
Okay.
I'm hoping it will work for her. So I'm intrigued myself to see what's going to happen today.
Thanks for joining us, Caroline. We've just been hearing about Alison's irrational fear of flying. What's your take on this?
I feel sad for her because she can't do what she wants to do. And it must be an awful feeling to be in fear of something. She wants to go and see Laura in Dubai. And this would be an absolute tremendous thing for Alison if if the fear has gone.
We know that you've written letters to each other.
Yes.
Could I ask you to start, Caroline? Would you please read your letter to Alison?
Yes. Dear Alison, as time has gone on, I have grown to understand your feelings and I will support you 100% in every way. I am always here for you whenever you want to talk, no matter what time it is. We can get through this, you watch. You have my love and support all the time. That's for you.
Thank you.
I think we'll start crying.
What a lovely friend you are.
Oh, no, she's great with me. She's a good friend to me as well, and I love her to bits, and I so want this for her.
Zoe, could you please read your letter to your mum?
Dear Mum, I wanted to let you know how so proud we all are of you for facing up to your fears today. I know you are very apprehensive and nervous about today, but know that I'm here to support you and I can't wait to leave here today with you and leave your phobia behind. I know that this treatment is going to work and that you're finally going to be able to visit and see all the places you've always wanted to, and finally see Laura and her new life in Dubai. Harry has already written a big list of all the places he wants you to take him. So you best get saving up. Oh, my love, Zoe.
Zoe and Laura, thank you, my beautiful girls, for supporting me. I love you both so very much. Zoe, I am so sorry that when we are flown together, you have to be the one who looks after me and not the other way round. Laura, I miss you so much. I am so very, very sorry that I have not been to see you. I know how disappointed you are. Caroline, thank you so very, very much for supporting me through this. It means so much to me. You have been a good friend to me, and hopefully I will make you proud too.
Oh, bless you.
Lots of love, Alison.
No.
Let me ask you a question, Alison, if I may. When I first saw you today, you were absolutely and utterly petrified. But as I've sat here and I've watched you whilst we've been talking, I'm already seeing a change in you. Is that right?
Yeah.
So just so I know where we are for the next bit, if your fear was 10 out of 10 when you walked in here today, what would you say it is now?
About an 8.5. 8
Okay.
to 8.5.
So there's just one big question, I suppose, and that is, are you ready to change?
Definitely.
Is today the day?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to say goodbye to Zoe and to Caroline and then leave her with us.
Thank you.
It was tough, it was hard, very emotional, which I didn't expect to get as upset as I did. It did make me realise that a lot of the thoughts I've had have just been silly.
She can see that she's been irrational, and what's very, very unusual is that she can't actually specifically say what the problem is, and that rings alarm bells to us because she's obviously blaming an aeroplane. She knows that aeroplanes are safe, but she's got some association that is stopping her getting on that plane, and it's severe, and we really need to try and find out what that is.
I do feel positive, but still slightly apprehensive about what's coming. But I am definitely more positive than I was about it this morning.
I really think that therapy is going to be difficult, and knowing that later on today we've got to get her on a plane, I've got to say I'm a bit worried.
But with a ticket to Dubai in Alison's name, the Speakmans have just one day to help her fight her fear.
Alison, scared of flying?
Yes.
You see, I think it's more than that.
I agree.
I think that something else has happened here, and the plane's a scapegoat.
Right.
So let me ask you the question. What is it exactly you're scared of? Not a plane. What is it? Is it something the plane's going to do? Or what is it, deep down, what is it you're scared of?
I think it's probably the not being in control and a sense of being trapped in there and not able to get off.
Let's just look back. When did the fear start?
I I think obviously when the doors were closed and then it was announced that we wouldn't be taking off because there were technical issues.
OK. You think then, but could I ask you, if it was before then, when do you think it might be?
I don't know, because trying to think back, I don't remember sitting in the airport and thinking I don't want to get on or I'm frightened. And I think it was just that, to me, that's when it started.
So tell me, when in your life, as a child, have you been on something and you wanted to get off and you couldn't?
I don't ever recall.
I can see that. I can see that, and that's fine that you can't recall it. But I'm just asking, if you could recall it, what might it be? That's right there. What was that then? What were you thinking about then? Just then, that moment?
Only sort of going out
That's
in
all.
the car as children, sort of a Sunday afternoon, taking an auntie out for a Sunday run.
OK.
But
And
And
what?
why was that significant?
I don't know.
Go on, just tell me about that. I just saw it then and you looked frightened. Tell me.
I don't recall being frightened by it at all. I remember going out and it was, I was just about to say ritual, and that's the wrong word, like it was done
I understand.
because you were forced to do it, and it,
Yeah,
and it
I
wasn't.
understand,
But that was the only thing that could have come to mind. But I don't remember thinking as a child, I'm in a car and I can't get out, or I don't want to be here.
You see, I'm sat here watching you. I've got the benefit of seeing your facial movements, and and quite often they are unconscious movements. But I could see then that you saw a memory that made you feel uncomfortable. So what made you feel uncomfortable about it?
I don't recall anything making me feel uncomfortable about it, but that just sprung into my mind as being a child. And maybe forced is the wrong word, but obviously as children you can't be left at home alone.
Yeah.
So you have to go on the Sunday afternoon run in the car with auntie type of thing.
Okay.
Or gran.
And when you're looking at that now, because you've not thought about that for a long, long time,
No.
and putting yourself in that situation, are you seeing it through your eyes?
I'm probably seeing it through my eyes now, looking back at me as a child,
Okay.
as opposed to my view as a child.
And are you trapped?
Probably forced into doing something I probably didn't want to do.
That's right. And when you're forced into something that you don't want to do, what is it that you lose?
You lose your freedom.
And a word that begins with C?
Control.
When you sat on the plane at the age of 19, and this is when this started, that it didn't make sense to us the reasons why it started. You see, if you were on a plane at 19 and the thing exploded and you managed to get out, but you were, incredibly burned, then I get it. I'd understand it. But everything you said was daily stuff, run-of-the-mill stuff, and nothing happened. Nothing went wrong. So that wasn't it. That reminded you of something that happened previously. What does this mean to me? This means being trapped. I need to escape from this. So you feel anxious because you feel trapped. And in that moment, your mind goes, right, I don't like this. I want to make sure I avoid this in the future. What's causing this? And you don't immediately think back, this is when I was trapped in the car, when I had to go out on a Sunday and I didn't want to go. What is it? It's the plane. So from that moment, you blame the plane. And what did the plane do? What did the plane do to you?
Nothing.
Well, actually, it did. It took you on honeymoon.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Right. So essentially, on a scale of bad and good, that plane did a lot of good. But you blamed it for doing something bad that it never did, because it reminded you of something that had happened in the past.
When you were out of control?
I don't know.
It's all right. Look, you've had, how many years is it now?
30.
30 years. You've had 30 years of believing something that's not true. We're agreed on that bit, aren't we? Okay. So you accept for 30 years you've believed something that's not true. And when someone gives you some evidence, it's hard to accept. It's really hard to accept. So I can really fully understand this problem. I need to know what it is. You're saying the reason why you're frightened, and then you're contradicting it. So I'm unbelievably open-minded. And therefore, my conclusion on this is you must know something that I don't. And maybe I should stop flying. So what is it that you know that I don't? I mean, maybe you've stumbled across some government conspiracy that you know about and you're just keeping it to yourself because you're guarding something and you don't want us to know. And if that's the case, I'd appreciate you sharing that with me, because if something is threatening your life, then potentially it's threatening others. So let's get it out there.
I don't know anything that anybody else doesn't know.
So you're saying that there's nothing to be frightened of? Is that what you're saying?
In the real world, no. In my little world, yes, but I can't explain what it is.
So you've already said there is nothing to fear. You said that. So you're looking at me questioning me now, but you did actually say that there's nothing to fear.
Did I?
Yeah. Just to recap, I was saying to you, what is it that we need to be frightened of? Because you're frightened of something, so I want to know what that is. For my own safety. And you said to me, but there is nothing to fear. So if there's nothing to fear going on a plane, and planes take you places that are good, the only conclusion I can make is that you don't want to see your daughter. You don't want to go to Dubai because you don't want to see your daughter. That's all I can come up with.
That's not true.
Well, what is true then? Do you understand why I'd make that conclusion?
Of course I do, yeah.
Because I'm in a corner and I know that planes, you've said yourself that planes are safe. In fact, you allow your daughter to fly on a plane every day. And if you thought that planes were unbelievably not safe, you would not let your daughter do that. Well, I'd hope not anyway. And we know all the statistics of, like, it's the safest way to travel and everything. And the fact is you've never had a bad experience with the plane. So the only conclusion I can make is actually it's a good excuse not to see your daughter, because you can say, look, I'm sorry, I can't fly. But deep down, you might just not want to see her. That's all I can come up with.
See, right now, I'm really sorry, but right now, we've got that. We've got that because of something that's make-believe, but that's the reality.
You're an intelligent woman and you believe in something that's entirely not true. And because of that, your lovely daughter's suffering and everyone else around you's suffering. And that's black and white. And I'm sorry if it's harsh, but it's what it is. So, because you're believing something that's not true, you're splitting your family apart. But it goes a bit more than that, because we believe that you had a long-time friend who you've also split apart. Can you tell me about that?
All she'd wanted to do was go on holiday with me.
And how long have you been friends?
Ever since I was 2.
Wow.
And all she wanted to do was go on holiday with you, and what happened?
I didn't have the courage to tell her I couldn't get on. And I ignored her calls, and we've never spoken since.
How long ago was that?
It was last October.
Do you miss her?
I can see that you miss her. And this is a friend for over 40 years.
Then it's all my fault.
So because you believe something that's not true, you've thrown away a friendship, a close friendship for over 40 years. Well, actually, I've got some good news for you. Because that lovely friend of yours,
She sent you a little message.
Hi Alison, it's been a long time since we've had a chat, but I just wanted you to know that I'm so proud and delighted that you got this opportunity to try and conquer your fear of flying. I really, really hope it works for you, because nothing will give me more pleasure than you to be able to pick up that phone and say, Janice, can we go somewhere in the sun for a week? Love to hear from you so we can carry on being the best of friends. Love you, Alison. Good luck. Bye-bye.
That was another thing that you made up. You made up that she didn't want to be your friend, but I'm seeing somebody there who adores you. Would you agree? Did you hear what she said? I'm waiting for you to pick the phone up and say, let's go on holiday. I love you, Alison. See, we wanted to show you that, first of all, to put your mind at rest, that your friend still wants to be your friend, and she understands. But secondly, that you believed that your friendship was over because you made that up too, but it wasn't true either.
She didn't deserve it.
she didn't deserve it. And the reason why you've not been in touch for 6 months is embarrassment.
And guilt.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you want to carry on believing something that's not true? Or do you want to come on a plane with us?
I want to try. Because I don't want to be like this anymore.
Are you still trapped in that car, going somewhere where you don't want to go, with the answer that you don't want to be with?
No.
So you're not trapped?
No, not when you put it like that, no.
What have we got in the box?
I know what you've got in the box.
Do you know? Do you know what we've got in the box? Is it?
I knew.
Get ready. They're here. The Wonder Pants. Pass those to you.
Here we go, let's have a look.
Can you feel the vibe, Nick?
I'm feeling awesome holding these, I tell you. Oh, look at that. The sad thing for me is I just don't think they'll fit me. Because I wanted to put these on and jump off the roof.
Because you know they are lucky pants. Would you let them jump off the roof knowing that it'll be safe? I think you're over them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the embarrassment and mediation, you've said goodbye to those.
Yes, yeah. The embarrassment alone, I think, has done it. Yeah, if I'm honest.
So we asked you before, are you ready for change? And I'm going to ask you now, are you ready to come with us to the airport?
Yeah.
I believe you. Do you believe it?
I believe her.
Come on then. And come here.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, you. Well done. When we finished the therapy, I asked Alison the question, are you ready to go in a plane? She said yes, but there was a big hesitation, and I think that that's down to almost 40 years of fear, of entrapment, versus 2 hours of therapy.
It is quite surprising that it's come to light that it's probably not the plane. It isn't the plane, it's something else. And quite annoying now to think that I've suffered all this time and it was never probably about flying at all.
There's a mass confusion on her face. Now, hopefully, by the time we get to the airfield, that confusion will have filtered through and she'll have accepted everything that we've discussed and she'll be okay. But there's a real possibility that it won't do. And 40 years, 2 hours, she might not want to do it.
To help Alison put her phobia behind her for good, Nik and Eva have brought her to an airfield. Before today, just the sight of an aeroplane was enough to reduce Alison to tears.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous, because I am. A little bit sick. But the amazing thing is I'm not in meltdown.
Alison's confused right now because she's had 30, 40 years of being frightened of something. She spent a day with us and she doesn't feel frightened. but she's used to being frightened. So she's got that confusion of, I think I can do it, but I don't know.
We've made massive progress. We've got her here, we've got her to this airfield. In the past, she couldn't even look at an aeroplane in the sky, let alone being stood at the side of them. So the next part now is to get her in that plane and let her go. She's in mass confusion right now. She just needs that evidence to say, do you know what? It's over and you can fly.
Desperate for Alison to beat her fear, eldest daughter Zoe and close friend Caroline have joined her at the airfield.
I'm very nervous for her. My stomach is churning. I'm sure yours is as well.
Yeah, over and over.
Over and over and over.
I can't imagine what her
reaction is and how she is feeling. I dread to think.
Don't know what's making her want to cry, but I just feel extremely emotional about it at the moment.
So the possibility that you could be crying through excitement. So you're not sure?
Pride.
You're not sure though. Pride, there's a possibility that you're crying because you're letting go almost 40 years.
That's my favourite.
Of pain. That's the one.
That is the one.
That is the one. It's letting go and moving on with your life and
Today's a
getting
gorgeous
it back
day.
with both hands.
Today is a gorgeous day to move on. Are you ready to prove to yourself and the rest of the world that Alison can fly?
I'm certainly going to give it a go.
Okay, come on then. I'll look after you. Come on.
Being around planes is no longer as stressful for Alison. But now she has to get on board.
Now you slide over into your left-hand seat.
Will she be able to prove to her family that she's changed?
Well, that's it, the engine's running and I'm feeling really, really nervous for them.
If you want to grab hold of anything, Alison, grab hold of your knees. Or if you want, you can grab hold of my knees.
Steady on now, John.
I've got to be honest, I'm pleasantly surprised at how calm she was when we arrived here. She couldn't even look up to the sky and see an aeroplane before now. So we just needed to take off now.
So there we are, happy?
I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. I think I'd be calmer if I was in the aeroplane with them.
Happy, Alison? Cheers.
Oh my God, they're taking off!
You okay? Look at that. Beautiful.
Yay!
You okay? What are you feeling, Alison?
Just an awful sense of disorientation.
Well, have a nice look out the window. Look at the view. It's beautiful. No, okay.
We've just seen my mum take off. It's the tiniest of planes I've ever seen. So she can do this, she can do absolutely anything.
Alison, you're doing great.
Yeah.
I didn't think she would do it personally, but she has.
She has, and we're so proud of her.
Yay! Woo!
Can you see the runway now, Alison?
It's a little bit bumpy when we land, but don't worry. It's only the bumps on the grass.
Oh, God.
Did you see her?
Oh my Lord! You're not even shaking. She's not even shaking.
She just said that it was a bit bumpy up there. It was a bit bumpy, so she felt a bit disorientated, but...
She's not shaking.
She wasn't shaking going in either.
How did you feel?
It was weird.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel now?
Well, I'm proud of myself for getting on it.
Oh, God, we are.
To be honest with you, you know, the chance of you choosing to go in a light aircraft is honestly so low. And I think anybody, and even Nick, actually admitted that it was a bit bumpy up there.
Yeah, I like flying, and I'm going to say that was far bumpier than I expected.
But you've done amazing, because I know that when you arrived this morning, you were really scared. But you got here, there's aeroplanes everywhere, which you felt okay with. The biggest thing for you is when that door shuts.
Being trapped. Yeah.
And you were absolutely fine with that.
Alison needs to clock up more air miles before boarding a plane becomes second nature. She wanted to fight her fear to be able to visit her daughter Laura in Dubai. It's been 18 months since they've spent any quality time together. There's a plane ticket in her name, and unbeknown to Alison, Laura's here to deliver it in person.
You might still feel a little bit like when you go on your, surprise! She did it.
Are you going to come to the bite and see me?
Yes. Oh, I love you. I love you too.